The introduction of internet
And that's why we're just
/YouTube
buying numbers.
has led to the competitive environment of any genre to become stale at a faster rate.
It's the opposite of the one we had
Does
last
the
video.
internet,
Yeah.
greatest technologies, and
Internet YouTube has led to the competitive environment of anything becomes stale at a faster rate. I don't know about that.
I mean, if you keep consuming it, then yeah, it's gonna get boring. But
Yeah, like eventually, yeah. Well, like if you're watching every Smash tournament, like eventually Smash will get boring. But like, if you're following competitive like sport, you're likely in that ragu for a long time. Most people commit to whatever game they're playing for a very long time, whether internet exposes it or not. YouTube just makes it to where
people.
YouTube makes it easier for like normal people to access. So like me, I didn't know Smash had like that much of a competitive scene until A, I made friends with a competitive player, and B, saw a bunch of videos of like Smash and stuff like that. Give me a second.
Like, yeah, it doesn't make it more coming up faster. If anything, it helps it a little more. Like, helps it keep going.
Yeah.
No, not the other way around.
I think the problem isn't the game. The problem is the lack of variety people have when they make content for it. Like Smash YouTubers, they all do the exact same thing where they just upload Twitch highlights and kind of just react to stuff on Twitch, and or like react to like them doing cool things. And it's like if I wanted to watch a pro player do cool pro player things, I will just watch the tournament themselves. There isn't a lot of creativity in like the competitive scene. The closest thing we got was like AlphaRad making Fall Guys tournaments, which I didn't think was possible because you can't really do that by default in the game. There's also like AlphaRad doing AI tournaments where they like ad-lib story arcs for the characters that are in the tournament, stuff like that. There's also like the World of Light Nuzlocke that he did. Like he was responsible for a lot of like of the more creative things in Smash, and they just stopped doing Smash content. So then Smash got back to being boring. Like he used to be one of the first like Smash like meme montagers too, because he did how to do characters.
Yeah, a lot of the most creative stuff is not competitive, actually, but
yeah, you know, like the only but like that's the issue though. Like there is no like creative like competitive players don't have a creative bone in their body. Like
yeah.
Like, not in the slightest. Like, if they do like some weird gimmick thing, it's because they got the idea from somebody else. Which, I can't really talk on that because I'm doing React content right now, but like... like, competitive players, they don't know how to be creative. Because all they know is the game itself, but like...
Yeah, they'll do what works, and they'll keep doing it.
Yeah. Like, AlphaRad's casually creative. Like, he's casually competitive, where it's like, he'll play to win, but like, most of his videos are like, you know, like gimmick videos. Or like folklore montages.
Yeah, it's just kind of what I do, I guess, with my streams.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, like, there needs to be more variety. It's like, I play a couple gacha games, and the only like really creative thing people do is, you know, guide accounts. Like guides, and it's like those are really helpful, but like something else, like even if it's just like, oh, I'm really like dubbing over comics or something like that, or like I don't know, like because I can't think of anything that they could do either. It's just the creative content creators just need to be more creative. I mean, competitive content creators need to be more creative. Otherwise, yeah, it does get stale because all you're uploading is tourney clips and clips of you doing cool stuff. Probably the same cool thing you did to 30 other players.
I guess the one competitive Smash thing I can think of that's been successful is Luminosity and I guess Panda before.
Yeah, and that's because you're talking to the players. Like they have like podcasts and like sit down like conversations with them. I saw the Coney and what's the EEVSU like episode? I forgot what happened in it, but like I saw it and it was like, oh, they're actually having like it humanizes the players of it.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They have like using the competitive like knowledge, but like interacting with other people.
Honestly, I think that is it. Like people follow competitive Smash for the players in it. I think competitive players just need to make more like not
Effort to
parasocial,
become,
but like here,
person.
this is kind of who I am kind of content, you know?
Yeah.
It's why people follow Left and Low Tier God for their explosive personalities and like them being really stupid hot take machines.
Like, people were, I think, more willing to hate on Leo when they didn't know who Leo was.
Yeah, they hated Leo because he was good at the game. It was the same thing with Zero. Like,
Yeah, but if they, like, become person for everyone that's
Yeah.
watching, they're like, oh, okay.
and then people got to know Leo, and he's like, oh, he's a dork. Like, he loves his K-pop. He plays his COD. He doesn't even play Smash on stream all that often. He'll play like COD or Apex or something.
It's funny. You think about it, it's like, oh.
Yeah, and it's like he's kind of just like a wholesome dork that can trash talks once in a while. But he himself,
Right.
like, I don't get. If people still hate Leo, that's because he's good at the game and you're terminally online. But like,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, there needs to be more of the player, not necessarily the game, when it comes to content creation. Like, I love, like, when Zero was in his prime, and he would play, like, games that weren't Smash, and he would upload games that were about, like, Sonic Rush 2, and a couple other, like, Pokemon Sword and Shield and stuff like that. Like, watching him react to those games was a lot better than him reacting to Smash games, because I get to see what he's like in other environments. So you get that extra, like, layer of their personality. And I think that's why Alpha Rad caught on so much, because, like, he did other things that weren't Smash, and you got to see him react to those things. It's like showing your friend a new video game you found. So it adds to that whole, like, that whole, like, getting to know the content creator a lot more. That's probably why I like Homie so much, because he doesn't do anything Smash related and just reacts to whatever he feels like.
Mm-hmm.
Modern times, communications. Does it cause games?
But I will say, as competitive content as it is now, like with the exception of Luminosity, because this is also before that came out, because Panda logo.
Yeah.
I will say that's a fact.
It's the stale competitive look. You could think of this. You could think of this in a couple different ways, though. You could say, well, there's a lot more information out there. There's a lot more knowledge, a lot more you can pull from. But you could also say that with all of this information being spread, and with all the things being out there, all the data, the frame data, the setups, the combos, bread and butters, whatever, that they leave more open to sort of innovation and fixing things about the game and figuring it out a little bit more. Seems as though most people are going to say it's a fact. And that's true, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah. Every game has a ceiling, has a point where it can be solved at some point. Unless it gets a consistent or considerable amount of updates over time.
It's like that's not the angle I was thinking of, but yeah, like it's also a lot easier for people to learn how to play characters, so it can stagnate pretty quickly if like if patches or like evolution of tech doesn't kick in consistently. A lot of fighting games die because of that.
But if it doesn't, if a game comes out as its own and it just never got updated, imagine if Overwatch was never updated.
Yeah, no,
Do you
Overwatch
think
would be
it
dead
still
within
be
a year.
alive? Well, alive. I think that these games get incredibly stale the more exposed they are. As information sort of gets disseminated among people, it becomes very easy for lower level or mid-level players to sort of pick up and emulate what the high-level players are doing. They could just see what the other guy's doing and saying, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to emulate that. I'll replicate it and I'll be doing better. And I think that stunts a lot of people from trying out new things or expanding other elements of the game. I think it stales out the game much quicker. Solving games faster just makes the meta cycle faster. You're assuming that the meta cycles.
Yeah.
The meta doesn't.
Yeah.
The meta.
No, if you figure like just because it's not like Yu-Gi-Oh where like the meta is like the new 5-star deck that comes out like every other week. Like just because you figured out what the meta is does not mean the meta is going to change. Yeah, you can play around it. Like for an example is have you played BlazBlue? Have you heard of BlazBlue Cross Tag?
Yeah.
So like the last DLC character for BlazBlue Cross Tag is Yumi from Samurai Kakura for some reason. And she is the most overpowered broken character in the game. she can kill characters, heavy characters, in like 2 strings because her attacks just do way too much damage and don't scale well. She, along with another heavy DPS character, usually like Yang or like is also a heavy DPS character. So it's like if Yumi for some reason dies, Yang can just finish him off. Because Yang, which is at half health, activates her semblance mode, which is basically just a free meterless install that buffs all of her attack and speed and attack speed.
Yeah.
So if Yumi doesn't kill them, Yang will just finish them off, and that was the meta. At the very least, Yumi was for years. People have been playing around her, but with like zoners and stuff. But if Yumi gets in on you, you're still dying in 2 combos.
Right.
One, if you're a low HP character, and if you accidentally tag in somebody, both those characters are dead now. So and like the meta never changed after that. They never nerfed her. They never did anything to like make her less of the way she was, and the game kind of died, which sucks because I myself love cross tag. That was probably one of my favorite fighting games I've ever played. And it's like once Yumi came in, it was bad. It was mostly because I like the Ruby characters. Ruby, as bad as it is nowadays, I still do love like the base cast really very much. And the inclusion of Neo just made that better.
Yeah.
But as for like late game cross tag, it died because of one character, and they never patched her or they did anything to fix it. Same thing with
Just thing you need to do with fighting games, but they don't do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Really skews the meta.
Yeah, no, like it's like how for a while, like Grand Blue Fantasy versus the first one, not Rising, because Rising's actually pretty balanced so far.
Yeah.
But right, like Versus had Belial, and he had every good tool in the book. Like there was honestly nothing you could do to really contest him, and was also the best character in the game. DLC characters that came after were either Belial again, because Avatar Belial was a thing, and he was still worse than base Belial, and they just paled in comparison, or just were flat out worse, or just weren't that good. So you had a lot of situations to where it's like I could pay for these characters, but if I'm not using Belial, what's the point? Like when your game gets down to the if I'm not using this character, what's the point? Your game is dying. Smash 4 beta was a tale as old as time.
If something doesn't come in and fix it, the meta will not cycle. Have you seen Brawl Finals? Do you see what's happening in that game? Oh, well, nobody's playing it. Exactly. That's the point. Our friend Lebo says...
Like, actually, though. That's why no one watches Smash 64. It's just Pikachu doing the same, like, 0 to death combo every time. And it's like, Melee's dying because the same 5 people win every major, and whenever a character contests it, someone will just lame it out, and then, haha, I'm the best Smash player ever, or whatever. And then it's like, what the heck do you do to improve that? Competitive players are going to play to win every time, because for some reason they're still a bag in Melee. And, like, there was a tournament to where a Link was going to win. Like, he was doing really good, was actually taking out a lot of top players, and then he went up against Mewtwo King. Probably in one of his most infamous matches ever. And it's like, the Sheik player, which was Mewtwo King, decided to just kind of ledge camp, spam needles at Link whenever he got close, and then did that till he was at kill percent 4 times. And when he was in advantage, then he would be a DPS, but when he was in disadvantage, he would do the exact same thing. It was the worst thing I have ever seen any competitive player do, aside from just flat out time someone out. And this is coming from someone who doesn't watch competitive Smash, so I'm sure there's a lot worse tactics people use, but like, it's like, we could have actually gotten in like a unique scenario to where like, oh, like a Link would have actually won this game, and that would have made Melee interesting again, because it's like, oh, none of there's like Link tech people can do, and then let Champion. Like, that would have actually opened up the meta a little bit, even if it was for like a month or two before they realized Link's kind of bad and he just got lucky. But that would have sparked a new conversation. And that's what these games need.
People who care an aggressive amount about resolution and frames only do so because they're bad at video games and want to get clout online / with friends.
Dragon Ball profile pic automatically an opinion.
By saying, yeah, I can play 240 FPS in Warzone, insert graphically in intense game here, but can't win a game to save their life.
240 FPS.
He's this.
I mean, real.
That's like
240 frames
you
per
could
second.
do it, but at that point, I think the game just slows down at that point, right?
I don't think the game's gonna be running any better at that setting.
Like I feel like I'm not a PC Andy, but I feel like 120 is as good as it'll get before it starts getting looking weird, right?
Yeah, like unnatural.
Yeah. Like 120 should be the peak. Anything, he's probably exaggerating with a 240 frames per second, but still.
Yeah. It's definitely an opinion
Yeah.
because they're like what's that word? They're like explaining it way too much.
They're saying a lot and saying nothing at the same time.
Yeah, it's about a lot of words for
You're
a little.
only-
Yeah.
It's like you're only saying this because you're bad at video games. It's like, how is that a correlation? I just want my games
Like,
to look
okay.
really good.
Like, okay, you're bad. Oh, you also want this. Oh, you also want that.
It's like, oh, yeah, but you play your games blah, blah, blah. It's like, how is that? Where's the correlation in that? It just does not make sense.
Fact,
Yeah.
or is it opinion? There's a lot of facts. A lot of 40% fact.
That's an opinion.
The silent majority. Look at that. Chat's getting
Down.
exposed today. Look at all the ones. Look at all the ones. You know what I think this is? Be honest. If you said are you watching on a console right now? Do you own a computer? How did 41% of you never see a monitor running at 144? It's life-changing.
Yeah.
I feel like I was
60
getting trolled.
FPS was life changing for
If
me.
you buy a 144 hertz, if you make any purchase this year, make sure it's a 144 hertz monitor. Good God, you will never go back. 1080p 60 FPS will be fine forever. No! I swear to God,
60
that guy's
FPS is fine for me.
He's a PS3 player. He must be. It is 2020.
But I am primarily console,
I need
so.
you guys to step into the future with me. 1080p is fine though. No! No, it's not! I bought a 27-inch monitor, and it was 1080, and I had to return it. It looked so bad. It was so pixelated. It looked like shit. Coney acting like it's easy to buy a good PC. No, I know it's not easy. I feel for you. I do. I know. PCs are expensive, and they.
To be fair, most PC players act like buying a PC is easy.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, bro, I just play on PC, man. It's like, oh, you just play on PC. The only reason I have this PC now is because my roommate gave it to me in exchange for rent.
Right. Like I didn't know how to build one or what was the right specs that I needed.
I would not
think-
have a PC if it weren't for my roommate giving one to me.
Break
In
a lot.
exchange for, like,
That's
the
why
bike and rent.
my green screen looks like shit. Because it broke because of my webcam. However, I get that it's not easy to have a computer that does 144 or 1440. I know. It's not easy. But there is a difference, and it's a large one. It's huge. And to say that it's only like to get clout or to get stuff from friends, it's not. It's
No.
not. It's just better. It's just better. Now, should people be aggressive about it? No. That's gatekeeping.
Yeah, no,
right?
the
We talked about
unironic
that
PC
earlier.
Master
We
Race
all agreed that
is
gatekeeping
not
is
good.
always wrong no matter what. Nobody should ever gatekeep. That's what we said. Then stop gatekeeping the poor. It's not gatekeep. Okay.
Keeping the poor.
If you're eating a Big Mac and I'm eating a delicious filet mignon, beef Wellington,
I mean, okay.
and you say, the only reason you say that beef Wellington is better than my food is because you want clout. You only want social
I think I would
status.
compare it more to
No, my food's
getting
much
a
better
triple
than yours.
cheeseburger over a double cheeseburger. You're just adding to it.
Yeah, well, he's using like steak versus burger. If I were to say like a Big Mac compared to like an Applebee's burger or like a burger from like an actual restaurant,
Right, the quality is just a bit better, yeah.
Quality is like severely noticeable, but you know, because you're eating at a fancy restaurant, people could be like, "Oh, you're only doing that for clout." It's like, no, like this is just objectively better than what it is you're eating.
Right.
Hey,
Like,
you're calling McDonald's food, which is an opinion on its own, but like,
yeah, I feel like I see it more as like it's the same thing, but better,
yeah,
and you know it's better because obviously it looks better.
yeah.
But if not like 3D TVs or stuff like that, then that's like a whole different thing. It's like people might not like the way it looks.
I'm still mad 3D TVs were a fad. I really wish they actually did more with that technology.
Right. But like that's nothing to do with frames or even resolution. It's like more of a different.
But it's still a matter of like,
together.
oh, I have the slightly better, I have the premium product. Like this product is like obviously better, and I'm minding my business, enjoying my higher quality tools, but you're over here spurring out talking about like, oh, it's like the only reason you care is because of this and that. It's like I don't even know who you are, for starters.
Like, right, yeah.
And you're putting words in my mouth, and it's like, no, like my stuff is objectively better than yours. And what? It seems like he's responding. He's like saying stuff just to say it, but it's like, no, like. If you did not give me a prompt to respond to, I would not have a reason to respond. Like, and that it's a cope take. Unless this dude actually ran into PC gatekeepers, talk to them about it. Like that's like if I said like, bro, like because of my bad experience, if I just said Fire Emblem like players only care about like the elitism that comes with playing hard mode. It's like no, like some people do it because they find it fun, but it's like now you have people responding to you, and suddenly it's like, ho, I've angered the Fire Emblem players. LOL. It's like. Shut the heck up.
Yeah, why are you trolling right now?
For real.
The Big Mac is much worse. It's not as good.
Yeah.
There's too much bread. There's not enough meat. The thing is half fucking lettuce. I have a delicious beef cooked in a pastry.
The Big Mac is majority bread, not gonna lie. I like the triple bun
Chef
gimmick though.
Gordon Ramsay made it.
Yeah, it's funny, yeah.
Who made yours? I hope that we could all come to understandings together. And I hope this is giving you a better understanding of the internet and what are facts and what are opinions.
I have still learned nothing about the difference.
Can we get one last shake?
But you know.
One last.
Because sometimes he likes to gaslight.
Do movies
You
next
can gaslight
time?
anything into an opinion
No, I'm
if you're
very stupid. I've said that.
if you're charismatic enough.